Did you know that the best way to start over in 2023 is not with the vision board? It is not with a vision board. And I know that sounds crazy because most of the times what we're going to see, what we're going to understand, what we're going to see people doing right now, especially as we are going into the new year, everybody's going to start talking about vision boarding. We're going to have these pretty boards. We're going to put Oprah on it. We're going to put all these things on there. But that is an incomplete vision board. And so I want to show you something that is so much more powerful that can actually help your vision board manifest. Okay. Because you had a vision board this year. You had a vision board last year. All it did was collected dust. Nothing happened. You was expecting blessings. You really didn't see anything come to pass, right? And so you wanted to lose the weight. You wanted to have more peace. You wanted to have a better relationship, but you didn't see those things happen. And I'm going to show you why they didn't happen and what you can do going into 2023 to make sure your vision board is actually complete. So welcome to Changing the Face of Wellness Podcast. I am Rachel Harper. I'm your behavioral health and wellness specialist. Make sure you share this podcast with those you know, those you love, as well as making sure that you save this podcast so that you can always come back to it when you are ready to hear this information again. All right. So share, like, all the things. Let's make sure we become the number one wellness podcast on this planet. I'm not even joking. Let's do it. All right. So as we're going into 2023, listen, there are already a lot of people talking about vision boards. I've seen it all across YouTube already. 2023 vision boards. There's going to be a lot of vision board parties. A lot of people selling tickets for their vision board parties. But listen, if you go to a vision board party and they're not talking about these three things, you need to run as fast as you can. Now, here's the three things. If they're not talking about your habits, your behaviors, or your beliefs, then your vision board is just going to be a dust collector. That's all it's going to be. It's just going to be sitting collecting dust. So first of all, I want you to understand that when you go into 2023, you need to know that there is a difference between dreams and visions. There's a difference between the two. So when you look at dreams, you probably say, well, dreams and vision, I've always known dreams and visions to be the same thing. They're not. All right. So what are dreams? Dreams, they're what you involuntarily experience in your sleep. It is an involuntary action that happens with your brain. You have no control over whether it happens or not. And it just is involuntarily. It involuntarily happens. However, vision is what you intentionally see when you're awake. You're awake when you see vision. So what is the vision that you actually have, right? You probably have vision of losing weight, vision of having better relationship, vision of having more peace, having more joy, vision of reducing the stress, the anxiety, the fatigue, vision of decreasing the depression, the vision of what does your life look like? What do you see? Right? So if you're saying I have all of these dreams, don't have dreams, have visions. There's a difference between the two. Don't even have goals, have targets. All right. Now, what's the difference between a goal and a target? A goal is something that you can just say, I just want to lose weight. A target is actually specific. It's something you actually going to hit, right? It has strategy behind it. It has force behind it. It has intention behind it. So when you have a vision board, you need to have intention behind it. There needs to be strategy behind it. There needs to be change when it comes to you in order to enforce it, to make it actually happen, to make it actually work. So again, what is the best way to start 2023? What is the best way to have your vision board actually manifest? If you don't do these three things in 2023, you'll have a repeat 2022. So make sure you write these down. So number one, you want to have better habits. Now, some of the habits you had this year in 2022 might have actually worked for you. You might have seen some accomplishments with those habits. You might have achieved some things with those habits. Then make sure you 10x those things and 10x those habits. That means do more of the same. But then what were some of those habits that didn't work for you? Because you had a vision board last year, December 2021. You said you want to accomplish some things this year in 2022, but some of your habits probably were not where they needed to be, right? So if you wanted to lose the weight, what were the habits that forced you to not lose the weight? Were you more sedentary? Did you not go to the gym more? Did you not change your eating habits? Were you eating too much? Did you take in most of your calories through juice? Right? Like you have to think about those things. Actually reflect on 2022 so that as you move into 2023, you could actually be more successful because in 2023, I'm choosing me. What about you? Right? So make sure you changing those habits or it's keeping the habits that were successful for you, but then making sure that you do more of the same. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, your behaviors. You have to change your behaviors. So, based on what you have on your vision board, you got Oprah on your vision board. What are you trying to say? You want to be a speaker? You saying you want her money? Well, what behaviors do you need to have in order to be in that same space as Oprah? Because everybody puts Oprah on their vision board every year. But what behaviors do you need to change? Or thinking back to 2022, maybe you had some good behaviors that you can now 10x, you can double it, you can do more of the same thing. So, what are some of those behaviors that you need to change or increase in order to make sure your vision board actually manifests this year or next year in 2023? And then looking at the last one. So, we did habits, changing your habits, changing your behaviors. But in order for your habits and your behaviors to be better in 2023, the number one thing that you need to take a look at or change or increase or get better at are your beliefs. What beliefs do you have? Wherever your beliefs are, that's where your behaviors and your habits are going to start. It always starts with a belief. If you believe that you can drink empty calories and still lose weight, that's the wrong belief because you're going to actually increase your weight. If you believe you can remain in a toxic relationship and have peace, that's the wrong belief. You got to change that belief, right? So, what are the beliefs that you have? Check your beliefs. And many people, they're going to sell you tickets to their vision board party. They're going to tell you show up to their vision board things and let's put these pretty pictures together on this board. And then just going to have the same beliefs. You got to change your beliefs. You're probably going to have $1 million sitting on your vision board, right? Everybody puts money on their vision board every year. Well, what are your beliefs about money? Do you believe you can spend it as fast as you get it? Because then you're not going to get the $1 million. You're not going to see your vision manifest. At that point, you're only going to have dreams. Because what are dreams? You're going to involuntarily experience the $1 million only in your sleep. That's a problem. So if you actually want to intentionally see the $1 million while you're awake, you have to intentionally change your beliefs, intentionally change your behaviors, and intentionally change your habits. Okay. If you're not changing those, then your vision board is incomplete. All right. So just to recap, the best way to start over in 2023 is not with just a vision board. That is incomplete. So how can you make your vision board a complete journey where you actually can manifest what you put on your board so that 2023 doesn't look like 2022? It is by changing your habits, changing your behaviors, and changing your beliefs. If you don't change those three things, you're going to be looking exactly how you looked in 2022. And if you didn't change those things in 2022, I can guarantee you that you still right now look like you did in 2021, probably 2020, probably 2019. All right. So if you want to do something different, you got to be different. You got to look different. You got to do different. Don't do the same. It's not going to work. So habits, behaviors, beliefs, change them so that you can actually see 2023 better than you did in 2022. All right. So go to rachelharper.org/masterclass to sign up for the masterclass if you want to make sure that your habits, your behaviors, and your beliefs can actually help you manifest what you're going to be putting on your vision board. Then make sure you meet me in class December 31st. It will be from 1 to 3 p.m. There's a lot of information there. If you want more information, make sure you go to rachelharper.org/masterclass. Join me in the masterclass. It's called Pathway to Abundance, John 10:10. God came so that you may have life and have life more abundant, right? He said you can have everything exceedingly abundantly above all. He said, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. So if you want to actually see some of those things come to pass, if you actually want to have that abundance that he says you can have, see, this year you lived in lack, you lived in scarcity, you lived in least, you live in an area that you didn't even want to be in, but you was comfortable in it. It's time to get uncomfortable in 2023. It's time to play big in 2023. It's time to see visions and go after what it is that God says that you can have in 2023. You got to do better. You got to go bigger. You got to go harder. in 2023. You got to work higher. You got to have higher conversations. You got to have higher visions, all right, in 2023. And in order to do that, your habits, your behaviors, and your beliefs got to go higher too. All right. So it says what? Do not conform to the world, but be renewed by what? By your mind. Your mind has to change first. Those beliefs have to change first. And then your behaviors and your habits will follow suit. All right. So make sure you meet me in the masterclass this month, December 31st, so that you can work higher, live higher, be higher, so that you can achieve higher in 2023. All right. I will see you in class. See you in the next episode.